Hey everybody, Keegan here, and today we're going to be talking about Kavanaugh, Drake, and the Stranger Things. Okay everybody, so before I get started, I actually want to talk about the Montauk Project, okay? So the Montauk Project is basically off the coast of New York. There's this tiny island called Plum Island, and on Plum Island is this facility called the Montauk Facility. Now, this is actually one of the many conspiracy theories is that tick and Lyme disease was actually developed there as a chemical weapon or a biological weapon, and some deer got it from some ticks and they brought it ashore, and that's where tick and Lyme disease came from, was from this island. You can look that up, it's a well-known thing. But the conspiracy here goes that after Project Paperclip and the Nuremberg trials in Germany, top Nazis were brought over here. They developed NASA, Area 51, and the Montauk facility. Now, if the conspiracy is true with Area 51, if the government shoots down UFOs and they chop them up and they back engineer them to give us new technology and stuff, that's where they would work on like the alien technology. While Plum Island or the Montauk facility would be where they actually looked at the biological alien stuff, and that's the conspiracy at least. But some interesting things have happened with the Montauk facility. For instance, this weird like potbelly pig thing once washed ashore on New York, and there's pictures of it you can find online, but they ended up saying that it was a dead raccoon, but it had like a beak and like weird ears and like a crazy tail and stuff. And there's also reports that 2 different human bodies actually washed ashore, and the New York Police Department actually leaked that these bodies had elongated fingers. So there's always been weird stories and rumors and conspiracies when it comes to the Montauk facility. In fact, it's the inspiration for the show Stranger Things. Now, Stranger Things originally was actually going to be called Montauk. And you can look this up. The creators of the show have already like talked about that and admitted it and stuff. But I want to talk about the Montauk project and how its association with Stranger Things. It's like a mirrored... the show is like almost a mirror of what the conspiracy theory is. Like, for instance, there's this girl on the show named Eleven, and she's called 11 because she's the 11th person that they have psychologically traumatized to try to like extract like crazy emotional human powers out of like these test subjects and stuff. And if you know about MK Ultra, that's when the government was working on mind control and whatnot. So the show Stranger Things and the kids that are on that show are highly like filled with a well-known knowledge of this stuff. In fact, one of the show's characters was in a music video for Panic at the Disco called LA Devotee, and in the show he goes through like an MK Ultra torture experience, and that's in an entirely different music video. Another thing that's weird about the kids from Stranger Things is that one of them is in the new It movie. And that's a remake of a Stephen King novel, an old movie where these kids fight this evil interdimensional clown thing. And I'm sure you guys are well aware of it. But the kids from Stranger Things have been totally like infested with all of this like crazy stuff that they're probably too young to like really know about. I didn't really know about MK Ultra and government mind control stuff until like I was about in my early 20s, and I thought that was really like messed up that the government could even do that to somebody. But that brings me to Miley Brown. So Miley Brown, or Millie Brown, is the young girl that's on Stranger Things. And now there's these articles here, I'll see if I can find one here, where the girl from Stranger Things has been texting Drake, the 34-year-old rapper. That's all over the internet here. She said that they've been texting and that he gives her advice about boys and stuff. But anyhow, it just, a lot of people are like, is it inappropriate? And she's like trying to stick up for it. So the girl from Stranger Things is now texting Drake, the 34-year-old rapper. And some people say that it's an innocent friendship, but it's really, a lot of people think that it's really inappropriate. And actually, if you look into what's called grooming, uh, if you just look up the definition to groom, uh, the second definition is to prepare or train someone for a particular purpose or activity. So there's all, you can groom somebody to be a politician, you can groom somebody to take office somewhere, but some people think you can actually groom like wives, and like if you look into who was it, Jennifer Love Hewitt, she met Michael Jackson at a very young age, and like you can look at, it's almost as if they arrange Hollywood marriages. For instance, like Priscilla Presley and Elvis. Like Elvis first met Priscilla when she was like 14 years old. And I don't know what to think about the whole thing, but it's in the news right now that a lot of people find it very like inappropriate. And that actually gets me into a story I had found about Steven Tyler. So I just heard recently that Steven Tyler from Aerosmith once took guardianship of a 16-year-old girl, and she was pregnant with his baby, and he basically left her at a house in New Hampshire while he went on tour. And when she called and complained that the house had run out of groceries and that she didn't have a job and didn't have any money or anything, he actually said he was going to send over one of his band members over to where she was at and bring her like food or like hook her up with some money or whatever. And when the band member arrived, she ended up passing out, and then she doesn't know how, woke up in a fire. The apartment had been lit on fire. The band member was gone. She ended up having to stick her head into the chimney just to be able to like breathe. She passed out. She woke up at the hospital. When she woke up, Steven Tyler was at the hospital. They told her that they would have to do a late-term abortion because she was 5 months pregnant. Told her they would have to do a late-term abortion on her baby, and she had to decide right then if she was going to do it or not, and that if the baby survived, it could be brain damaged and all kinds of stuff. So Steven Tyler encouraged her to get the abortion. This is all her story. I don't know if it's true or not, but this is what she's alleging. And so they decided together to get the abortion. And while she got it, they had to like pump saline into her and all this terrible stuff. But Steven Tyler stood next to her doing lines of coke, offering her some while she was going through with this whole thing. And then he ended up leaving her, and he admits to it in his memoirs and all this stuff. And meanwhile, the entire planet is like tearing itself apart right now if you're on Facebook over the Kavanaugh thing and what he did, if he did it. Okay, because I don't know if I wasn't there, but it would be bad. He like pulled his wiener out. I don't know the entire story, but why aren't people going after Steven Tyler? You know, why aren't people? Where's the hashtag Me Too movement on Woody Allen? You know, what's going on here? So for me, the whole entire Kavanaugh thing. And it's important because of the Supreme Court justice, the Supreme Court nominee. I totally get it. But where is everybody with Woody Allen? How come people aren't like throwing eggs at Woody Allen? How come people aren't throwing eggs at Steven Tyler? You know? And I could go on and on. What about Cher? What about Madonna? You know, Madonna, like, she wrote in one of her books that she had sex with like a 16 or 17-year-old boy when she was in Peru or something. I mean, I could go on and on. Where's the hashtag Me Too movement on that stuff? So it just seems like the media right now is actually organizing all these like hits on people. But again, Kavanaugh might be guilty, but nobody's even waiting for due process or anything. They hear the accuser saying, you know, take this guy down, and everybody's like, get him, with their torches out. I mean, if that's the way America is going to start being ran, like, get me out of here, dude, because an accuser can accuse anybody. But, you know, and apparently the guy's got a squeaky clean background. I don't know enough about it, so I'm not going to choose a side yet. But a lot of people out there are treating me like crap because I don't know, you know, what to think about the Kavanaugh story. But you know what? We can figure it out together, or we can tear each other apart, you know? Whatever you guys want to do. But I'm looking at messages on the Clone Keegan right now. Give me just a second. I asked some people if they wanted me to answer some questions or anything. So, yeah, I said filming in 10 minutes. Any last minute questions or posts? So, Uh, Jerry Londo. She says deep state in relation to preeminent political positions, some dirty pool going on there. Yep. Second question, AI brothels. Yeah, so what's really weird is there's this place that's going to be opening up in Texas where you can basically bang a robot. And the robot is basically like a blow up doll, but it's a robot, acts like a chick and stuff. Uh, yeah, so basically, this is going to roll out like Blade Runner type synthetic people, which we're actually already probably seeing on TV. There's probably already actors on TV that are like real badass AI robots. We just aren't aware of it yet. And they're testing this stuff out. But they're going to basically incorporate it into the culture by having people have sex with them first. Because basically, like, if people are banging robots at brothels, they're not going to bat an eye when a robot's reading them the news. And that's what's up with that. And then third is, I don't know, I just want to be off grid. Can't wait to get there. Yeah, tell me about it. Any way you can be off grid just a little bit, whether you grow your own food, make your own show. And I'm not saying making a show isn't on grid, but like doing your own kind of like video vlog or something is better than watching somebody else's. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to do a news show with this, but when you get into people that are just like me, that's not good for them, and it's not good for you either. I call this the clone Keegan because it's kind of a joke, because I think this persona of myself is kind of a loser and a little bit crazy. So cloning me would really scare the elite if half the stuff I'm talking about is true. You know what I'm saying? Have I done a show on the people disappearing in the national forest? I plan on doing a whole video on the 411 series, and if you guys don't know about it, people are disappearing all over the country in the national parks. Now, I don't know if it's the government. I don't know if it's shadow people. I don't know if it's Sasquatches or skinwalkers, but there's some weird stuff going on. Even stuff where people disappear and then they show up in places they shouldn't possibly be. Like people show up at like the tops of mountains with places where you need mountain climbing gear, and they don't have shoes on. And it's crazy, but you can find stories all around the country. It's called the Missing 411. But anyhow, I love you guys. I know I'm wearing a pink tie. I didn't realize it till earlier, but hashtag me too. Anyhow, I love you guys, and in the meantime, don't roll your eyes at me.